Hello again. Today we're going to start chapter 3 of The Wizard of Oz. What are we going to discuss today? Some preview questions to remember what you've prepared, the main incidents that happened in the chapter, the most important quotations, the chaptering points, and a character sketch. Make sure you've read and listened to the chapter carefully before starting. Who or what was making the strange sound in the forest? Why did the Tin Woodman tell Dorothy that nothing could hurt her? Remember the kiss of the Good Witch on Dorothy's forehead? Why did Dorothy scold the lion? Because he tried to harm her best friend, her pet Toto. Summary of the chapter. Dorothy, the Scarecrow, and the Tin Woodman were on their way to the City of Emeralds when Dorothy heard a strange sound coming from the forest, and she was afraid. The Tin Woodman and the Scarecrow weren't afraid because they were made of metal and straw and nothing could hurt them. The Tin Woodman told Dorothy that nothing could hurt her too because the Witch of the North kissed her on her forehead. But they had to protect Toto themselves because Toto cannot protect himself. He doesn't have this kiss that protects Dorothy. He's not made of metal like the Woodman, so nothing can hurt him. He's not made of straw like the Scarecrow, so they have to protect him. Suddenly, a lion ran out of the trees and knocked over the Scarecrow and struck the Tin Woodman, but his paw didn't make a mark on the tin. He tried to attack Toto, and this is why Dorothy was scolding the lion. But Dorothy picked him up and hit the lion on the nose. She stands for her friend. She's a loyal and faithful friend. She shouted at the lion because he frightened her little dog and called him a big coward for attacking animals which are smaller than him. So back to the cover. Remember the features of a lion? Is this a corresponding similar description? No, the lion, who is known for its bravery here in this story, is a coward, a big coward. The lion got sad and admitted that he knew he was a coward, and it's a mystery. He doesn't know why, because he was supposed to be the king of the beasts and all the animals expect him to be brave, but he was not. The Tin Woodman expected him to be a coward because he didn't have a heart. They're making assumptions here why this lion is not brave. The Tin Woodman thinks or predicts that this is because the lion doesn't have a heart, which is not true, and the Scarecrow thought he would be a coward because he had no brains. The lion asked Dorothy if he could go with her to the Wizard of Oz to ask him for courage. During their journey, they came to a great ditch in the road, and the sides were so steep that they couldn't climb down. As you can see from the picture, this is a ditch. A ditch is a long, narrow cut in the ground. The lion suggested to jump across the ditch with them on his back at one at a time. He started with the Scarecrow because he was made of straw, and if he fell off, he wouldn't get hurt. Then he crossed with the Tin Woodman and finally with Dorothy and Toto. So, judging by this behavior, do you think that the lion is really a coward? He says he's a coward, but what he did is actually an act of bravery. Maybe it's not courage that he lacks, it's confidence. He doesn't believe in himself, in his capabilities. After they all crossed the ditch, the lion told Dorothy that they were in the land of the Kalidas. They were huge beasts and with bodies like bears and heads like tigers. So, who are the Kalidas? They are huge beasts with bodies like bears and heads like tigers, as you can see from the picture. Soon they reached another ditch, but the lion couldn't jump across it. Why? Because it was much wider than the first one. So what are they going to do? The Tin Woodman suggested to make a bridge. How? By using his axe. He started chopping a tree with his axe. They heard the Khalidis coming, so the Tin Woodman chopped as hard as he could until the tree fell across the ditch, and they ran across it. The Khalidis were about to cross the bridge, so the Tin Woodman started chopping again until the tree fell away from the side of the ditch. Important quotations. "Don't be afraid," the Tin Woodman said. "As long as I have my oil, nothing can hurt me, and nothing can hurt Scarecrow." "But what about me?" Dorothy asked. Did the witch kiss you?" asked the Tin Woodman. "Yes, on my forehead." "Then nothing can hurt you." Dorothy was protected by the magical kiss of the witch of the North throughout the journey. The moral lesson here in this part is that this team, made up of Dorothy, Toto, the Scarecrow, the Lion, and the Tin Woodman, they are one team standing up for each other, one for all and all for one. A friend in need is a friend indeed. "Don't you dare hurt my little Toto," she shouted at the Lion and hit him on the nose. "You're just a big coward." Here, Dorothy is willing to expose herself to danger to protect her intimate friend without a second thought. She's a loyal friend. Dorothy was a very brave girl, that she wasn't afraid of the Lion. She shouted at him and hit him on the nose when he tried to attack her little dog. She protected Toto and called the Lion a coward for frightening the little animal. The Lion looked down. "I know I am," he said sadly, "but I can't help being a coward." "Why are you a coward?" Dorothy asked the Lion. "I don't know," he replied. "It's a mystery. I'm supposed to be the king of the beasts, and all the other animals expect me to be brave." The Lion's problem was that he thought he wasn't brave, although he was supposed to be the king of the beasts, so he needed to get some courage from the Wizard of Oz. "Perhaps," the Lion said, "I could jump across with you on my back, one at a time, of course." The Lion might be a coward, but he was very friendly and helpful. Well, this is really not true, because what he did is actually a brave act. This is not being coward at all. He helped Dorothy, the Scarecrow, and the Tin Woodman to cross the first ditch by carrying them on his back and jumping to the other side. This is the description of the Khalidis. "We're now in the land of the Khalidis," the Lion told Dorothy. "They are huge beasts with bodies like bears and heads like tigers. I'm afraid of them." "I can make a bridge," the Tin Woodman said. There was a tall tree nearby, and the Tin Woodman began to chop it down with his axe. To chop something is to cut by hitting with a sharp tool, and here the sharp tool is the axe. The Tin Woodman was also very helpful. He used his axe to chop a tree and make the bridge so they could cross the wide ditch. He also saved them from the Khalidis when he chopped the tree before they could cross the ditch. The chapter in points. Dorothy, the Scarecrow, and the Tin Woodman were on their way to the City of Emeralds when the Lion came out of the trees and hit the Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman with his paw. Dorothy protected Toto and shouted at the Lion, but he told her that he was a coward and all the animals expected him to be brave, but he couldn't help being a coward. The Lion decided to go with him to the Wizard of Oz to ask for some courage. They came to a great ditch. The Lion helped them by jumping across it with him on his back. They reached the land of the Khalidis, and the Tin Woodman made a bridge so they could cross the second ditch, which was much wider than the first one, and they succeeded to cross it before the Khalidis reached them. So to wrap up, or to continue what we discussed in the last chapter, we said that Dorothy met on her journey the three Munchkins and the Witch of the North, Buck, the Scarecrow, Tin Woodman, and in this chapter she meets a new character, It's the lion, the cowardly lion. Thank you.